I've been hosting this podcast on how you can have a sustainable business for almost 2 years now. And it's time to tell you I'm a fraud. And it doesn't feel like normal imposter syndrome, but like I'm actually tricking you every week where I'm showing up here talking about having a sustainable business. Because is my own business sustainable? As I'm writing down some thoughts about what my next podcast episode should be about, it's 1 a.m. The podcast goes live in a couple of days. And more often than not, this is how it goes. I always feel like I'm one step behind and I work so much. But okay, let's do this properly and take a step back. You're listening to Sustainable Photography, a podcast all about business tips, inspiration, and confidence building. I'm Ingvild Kolnes, the host of this podcast, and after over a decade as a photographer, I now help talented photographers run sustainable businesses. And for full transparency, you should know that I'm a mentor with paid offers, and I will probably mention some of those in this episode. I've met so many photographers, coaches, and other professionals during these last 2 years. And I've learned so much about so many different kinds of topics. And one of my favorite parts is still asking them what their view of what a sustainable business is. And the interesting part is that every single person has a different opinion. And I'm pretty sure I've agreed with all of them because sustainability is so many things. One of the first episodes I recorded was about what my thoughts on sustainability and what it was all about. And back then, I was talking about taking time off and putting yourself first, being creatively fulfilled, and a few other things as well. And of course, I still agree with all of those. And along the way, I've learned so many new things as well, like outsourcing and automating, having systems, setting boundaries, changing and evolving, building your business around your life instead of the other way around. All of the things, basically. And last year, I did take several months almost off the business. And that was great. My business still thrived. But since I've been back, I just don't feel like I've been able to catch up. The routines I had before our camper van trip has just completely slipped away. And taking time off has felt pretty impossible. Even though, of course, I know it's possible, even though I talk about it on the podcast all the time, and I know that taking time off leads to more productivity and creativity, it's just that I've felt really trapped. And I've definitely been putting myself last these days, weeks, months, even. It's so unhealthy. Some days I feel like I don't have time to eat or breathe. I don't feel like I have the time to prioritize marketing, which means I don't do it. And even when I get inquiries, I don't feel like I have the capacity to reply or follow up or even think about doing the work right now. In the middle of all this, I'm still working on building my confidence and my mindset. And I do feel like I want to hide away for a lot of the time. I don't want to be visible. I don't want to do marketing. I just want to do the work. I just want to get things done and see results. And when I hear great things from my clients, I kind of struggle to read it and go through it. Sometimes I even have to leave the house because I get so stressed about it. Because a part of me kind of thinks that it has nothing to do with me when someone books one of my clients' biggest package at a much higher price, or that it was just luck that their website immediately rose on Google ranking as soon as it was launched. Even though that's what I work on and think about 24/7. On a more positive side, though, I am working towards my goals every day and I love my clients. They feel like friends, and I get so much joy from hearing how well they're doing, and feeling like I'm playing a part in their success is really great, even though sometimes it can be hard as well, especially when you're as involved as me. And I'm getting really good at setting boundaries, but I still have very far to go. I'm realizing that because I just love it so much. And I think when you reach burnout, it's not necessarily because you're doing hard work, it's because you're doing too much and you just don't really know how to say that it's enough now. So, yeah, it's hard sometimes. In a way, I think that's why I want to say this and talk about it as well. Just to say that if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not alone in that. It can be hard, and it doesn't mean that you can't work on it and get better. You can increase your prices, even though it's really scary, because I think everyone feels the same way. Because you can't know what's on the other side when you make a change. Another reason for telling you how things actually are is because something has to change in my business and life, I guess. I can't really keep this up because my business is not sustainable. My coach from a few years ago, Jan Willie, who you met previously, I think in episode 20, she used to say that you teach what you need. And that's definitely the case for me. And Danielle Garber from episode 4, it's one of the most popular episodes, by the way. She suggested that I take you along on this journey towards more sustainability and that I talk about it and share some of the changes that I do. So that's what I'm going to do. It's me being honest and giving you some tips, hopefully, on how you can be more sustainable as well. Teaching by example. Hopefully, it's going to look like hiking and gardening, date nights, and a lot more boundaries. Does it mean that I'm going to stop working in the middle of the night? Probably not, because that's when I do my best work. And a huge thing that I believe is that we all have to have the business that most serve us and that we most enjoy. By the way, the online shop is now back on my website and you can go check it out because there might be something in there that can help you have a more sustainable and profitable business as well. You'll find the link in the show notes, or you can go to ingvildkolnes.com and find the shop there. You just listened to an episode of Sustainable Photography. Please share this episode with a photographer you care about.